The fact that there are clashing opinions regarding my new OC doesn't bother me, but the fact that they're dominating my comment section does, so I think it's time to address this in some depth. From here on out, I will expect all comments about the OC and smoking to fall on this video, and I will delete those comments if they continue to appear on other videos. I've been hearing two things again and again, that my smoking is bad and wrong, and that my pony looks depressing, so let's address these. But first, we'll give some history. I have always been obsessed with both characters that smoke and characters that have dark circles under their eyes. I used to run a fan blog for the character Ito Nobue from Ichigo Marshmallow because she was a cool older girl who smokes. I talked in one post even about how Nobue's determination to smoke in the comic had made me want to do the same myself. I've even bought art books and stuff entirely on the basis of seeing cool smoking girls in them. The act of smoking is just really highly romanticized for me. As for dark circles under the eyes, I love how they convey this subtle madness or sleep depravity. In this case, I've traced my love of it back to the manga Tokyo Akazukin, and I've been in love with that kind of art ever since. In fact, if you look at my DeviantArt page, you'll see that on the rare occasion that I draw myself, there are always huge dark circles under the eyes. Even on this channel, the first cartoon avatar that I used was a cross-dressing boy with the same dark circles. When I was first given Mizu Takishima's Digibrony designs, I immediately attempted to draw dark circles under his eyes, but it didn't look right because I couldn't draw in that style. I told Takishima at some point that I'd like to have a set where Digi looks tired or drunk for the sake of certain skits, and she was planning to draw them, but simply never got around to it. The look of Digibrony now comes from a ton of fan art that was drawn by Hannah over the last 6 months or so. She drew Digi as a strung out, tired smoker, and those pictures really resonated with me, quickly becoming my favorite Digi art. One day, Hannah asked me for ideas for fan art, so I told her to draw Digi smoking and looking pissed off. That's when she came up with the headcanon that Digi uses magic to create smoke art, which I thought was brilliant. As I explained on Tumblr, my style change largely came from me getting sick of talking about the same points about why an episode did or didn't work again and again, and getting comments which responded more to my like or dislike of the episode instead of my actual analytical points. I decided to move in a new direction where the videos would be able to hit people on a deeper level, leading to a better comment section. And other than all the bitching about the new design, this totally worked. Every video I've done so far has had a number of long, beautiful comments about how the viewer connected with the video, sometimes to the point that it made them cry. I had to change the visual style as well though, because the whole posing of Digibrony was by far the most boring and inane part of making my videos. I'd gotten so sick of seeing his face in that same set of expressions that I started to resent him. So it seemed obvious to me that if I was going to get someone else to make a bunch of Digi art, I should choose my favorite Digi artist. I knew that Hannah worked really fast and was prolific, and that she'd probably keep drawing new Digi art after the initial set. It was actually Hannah's idea to have Digi smoke in the videos so that he could eventually do his smoke art in the videos as well, and I thought that was pretty cool looking, so I approved. In real life, the first time I ever smoked was when I stayed with my mentor Ghost Lightning in the Philippines for a month back in 2011. Ghost Lightning had been smoking for 20 years since he was 14 years old, but he was in the middle of a cold turkey stint. Ghost Lightning had written before about his unapologetic stance on smoking, and about how when he felt it was necessary not to smoke, such as when his wife was pregnant and while raising his baby daughter, he was easily able to quit out of responsibility. I hated smoking the first couple times I did it, as it gave me a major headache. When I came back home, it was a little while before I tried it again, borrowing from a friend who smoked as well. But the moment I started smoking regularly was when my mom was hospitalized with cancer, which had nothing to do with smoking, incidentally. My family had consciously decided that we would never let my mom know that any of us were afraid for her health, so when we visited her each day, we'd make a point to act as though she was obviously going to make it through and there was nothing to worry about. Everyone became stressed at home though. I started smoking to deal with that stress each day. Around a year later, I did something similar when I was working at Target. Each morning I would show up at around 3:30 a.m. and a lot of the times I was dead to the world. I'd have a smoke before work started to wake me up and get my mind ready, and I wasn't alone. Most of my coworkers were doing the same. I understand that for my generation and the one right after mine, smoking is no longer normal. While it's still very normal in a lot of countries and still pretty normal among older people, it's gotten more rare for us now. That's hardly surprising though, considering how our schools and TV ads have continually drilled it into our heads that smoking is the worst thing on earth ever. Of course, knowing a lot of older people who smoke and are in great health is one way to cast doubt, but even more importantly, it's so much easier to stop doing than anyone credits it for. Yes, cigarettes are addicting and can grip some people for life, but that doesn't mean it's the same for everyone. I've kept to a 1 a day, 2 in a day maximum for over 2 years now, with frequent months-long breaks when I finish a pack and just don't buy another one. That's not to say I'm not addicted on some level, but I don't think my addiction has become dangerous, and if it does reach that point, then I'll deal with it when the time comes. Trust me that I am not proud of myself for smoking. I'm not showing it off to brag about it or something, it's just a thing that I do and consider a part of my life. There's something really introspective about smoking for me because I usually usually do it while out on a walk or listening to music and just being lost in thought. I've written songs about it and stuff lately, as it's become a source of some degree of inspiration. To me, the imagery of smoking is tied to conversation and introspection. Every time I smoke, I remember sitting at Ghost Lightning's table while he taught me about literary theory. I remember standing in my driveway with my friends talking about the hardships they were experiencing in their lives. I remember walking through my backyard smoking and recording improv poetry. I remember all the times in the last 6 months that I've brought my friends along on my long walks through the neighborhood, having conversations about life, analysis, and personal shit. So yes, for me, smoking really does capture exactly what I'm going for in these videos: introspection, conversation, and a chill atmosphere. The reason Digi is in a bar with jazz music playing in the new video is because I wanted to convey the kind of place that I fantasize about having deep life conversations in. It's the kind of imagery that reminds me of Friday morning at last year's BronyCon, when Brony Curious, BVids, Past Analysis, and other friends sat in the lobby of a hotel for hours getting drunk and discussing Equestria girls. A lot of people thought I was trying to rub it in the faces of everyone who didn't like the smoking in my videos by showing myself smoking in the new video. This was not my intention. I just thought that it wouldn't make any sense for my pony to be smoking but not me. It was purely a consistency thing. I didn't actually expect people to still be talking about the smoking after my rant in the previous video, but apparently I underestimated it. The current DigiBrony setup is meant to say 3 AM conversation over cigarettes, because that's how most of my real life conversations are. Digi's tired eyes remind me of how my friends and I are always trying to conquer sleep, to make one more memory or keep the good conversations going. It's the kind of face that conversation addicts have when they're at their best. While we're here, I may as well address this whole personal anecdotes thing too. I don't think this is anything new to my channel, as you'll find countless personal anecdotes if you go back through my videos. Personal anecdotes have always been a huge part of my writing style, and in the old days of my anime blog, they were pretty much the main draw of my posts. Perhaps the biggest series I ever launched on my blog was The Diary of an Anime Lived. It was a series where bloggers would talk about how the things that they'd seen in anime paralleled their own lives, and this led to a lot of powerful and touching stories. The S4 Diary is similar to this concept. It's not just about my personal life, it's meant to draw out the part of the show that resonates with us on a personal level. It's about appreciating the deeper connections that we can feel with the show that go beyond "this is good" or "this is bad." Not to mention it actually ties in with the whole diary thing as part of the structure of season 4 episodes. I didn't really enjoy any of the last 3 episodes very much when I watched them, and if I'd written about them in the traditional review style, it largely would have been me complaining about the very same things I've been complaining about all through season 4. Want my review of Some Pony to watch over me? Watch my Castlemania video. For my Breezy's video, watch the Daring Don't video. For my Twilight Time video, watch the Castlemania video again. With this new style, I can ignore the structural things that are pretty much the same across multiple episodes and stick to what makes the episodes unique. Other reviewers did a great job of breaking down why Breezy's didn't work, so I made a video about what I could take away from the episode if I ignored its problems. And for some people, that was really resonant and interesting. My style change has had the exact effect that I hoped it would. People who appreciate the videos do so on a deeper level than they did before. For every message that I get about how Digi smoking is pointless, I get 2 more demanding I not change back because the new style is better. So I don't plan on changing, but I do want to address it all here just to redirect the discussion of the changes. I hope this helped you to understand where I'm coming from.